Well, our moms think we're funny.
So hey everybody, my name is Turk182.
I'm Acomi.
And welcome back to another episode of Our Moms Think That We Are Funny. And today on Our Moms Think We're Funny, Acomi has given me the green light to once again just go all ham on a topic that on something that I hate. But this time I decided that, I shouldn't actually have decided. This time around, I was like, you know what though? I hate this. I really hate this. But you know what? I'm going to use this to my advantage. And so what I'm talking about today is cryogenics.
Cryogenics.
I hate cryogenics.
But Turk, what's wrong with cryogenics?
Well, I hate cryogenics because it's absolute bullshit. That's why I hate cryogenics. Now, cryogenics as a whole, I think, is actually it's an interesting concept, and I'm going to say that itself is bullshit. Cryogenics, the idea of being frozen until we can find a cure, and then we're going to go ahead and unfreeze you and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's perfectly fine. That's cool in the gang, right? Got no issues there. What I do have an issue with is that, one, when it comes to like reviving somebody, there is a problem with where after they've been frozen, like reviving the frozen people. Like you have to, I think there's a special thawing process that you have to use to be able to unthaw somebody. You can't just put them in a microwave in like a defrost setting, right?
Right.
To get them, to get their body working again, and that sort of stuff. Because even if you're in like a coma, you're
in a coma.
Huh?
Hi, I'm a coma.
Yeah.
Welcome to my mom thinks I'm unconscious.
In a coma de vida, baby. Don't you know that Because in a coma you can't say anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay.
Gotcha.
Shut up. Yeah, but sometimes they put people in a medically induced coma because we need you in this state so your body can heal and prepare itself or whatnot.
Yeah. Just hit them upside the head with a frying pan.
They can go down. Night, night. See you in the morning, Ma. So there's a special, like I said, like defrosting process that has to take place for all that. And I don't know if that's ever been worked out. I've never really looked too much into cryogenics.
Mm-hmm.
The part that I say is bullshit is that, and you know where I'm going with this. I've talked about this so many times. What is my problem with people freezing themselves for cryogenics?
Remind me.
Okay. People, so let's say that some guy's got like cancer and he's dying, and he said, okay, when I die, I want my body cryogenically frozen. So when they find a cure for cancer, then you can revive me and cure me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, because you're dead. I have to freeze you before you die.
Right.
Find a cure for cancer, unfreeze you, cure you. Once you die, you're dead. There's no cure for death.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so fucking stupid. The problem is, though, you're still alive, and most people are not going to be down for being frozen while they're still alive. It's like, well, I still have some life left in me. Why I don't want to be frozen now? Because that's how it has to work.
Right.
And no one's really going to be down with that. It's like, okay, so you're gonna freeze me now? Like, no, I'm not down for that. Well, that's kind of how it has to work. But no one ever does.
Right.
So the cryogenics part it's a really good con. It's a great scam. Because you do is you put these people on ice and you never have to thaw them. You never have to. Because there's never going to be a cure for death.
I mean, they'd never know if you didn't.
Well, that's another good point. They wouldn't know. Now, their relatives may ask them questions and like, don't forget, Grandpa's frozen. So the minute the news comes on and says, "Oh, by the way, we've got a cure for this thing right here. You know, you might get a call. You got to make sure that you keep your number updated at the cryogenics place so they know who to call, you know, when that cure comes through.
I mean, that's only going to be like, you know, a couple of generations tops. Because, like, shit, I couldn't even tell you, like, where my great-great-grandparents are currently located. So...
Well, I mean, were they cryogenically frozen?
Hell no.
I
don't know. I don't fucking know.
Apparently, they didn't trust you to have them unthawed.
I mean, if they were, nobody told me, so... Don't know what to tell you there.
I think that Walt Disney had the right idea.
Brain in a jar?
Huh?
Brain in a jar?
Well, no, I was saying being cryogenically frozen because, and he's like, you know, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to create this huge, like, empire so that everybody will know me forever. And because everyone will always know, like, Walt Disney World, like, I don't have to worry about you ever updating my phone number and address. They'll always be able to, like, look up Walt Disney World. Like, operator, please give me the number to Walt Disney World.
Right.
Or Google, you know. So, yes, they have a problem, you know. And if you need to, like, I need the number for, like, you know, like, Hugo Acomi Senior, or like a junior, I don't know who this guy is. You know how many like Hugo Acomi Juniors are out there in the world? Like, there's gonna be tons of them. Never gonna find you. So I'm like, okay, that whole thing is the being frozen like that. So they put you on ice, and you're like, well, they may never have to. Yeah, they might never have to. And that's perfectly cool. So I don't know how much it costs, but let's just say it costs $50,000 to put you on ice. Mm-hmm. Well, you know, because you're on ice and you're being frozen, you know, you're gonna suffer like tissue degeneration, like frostbite. And so I don't know if they're gonna have to pump something special into your veins to keep your blood like from completely freezing and that kind of. So it's like when you freeze like a soda. Like, I got a bottle of Pepsi, I freeze it, and what happens is that the water freezes first, and then, like, the cola, and they separate. So when you unfreeze it, they don't mix back together again. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming the same thing could happen to your blood. I don't know. I mean, I know that, like, when they're storing blood, they cool it, they don't ever freeze it. Right. So I don't know what happened if you froze that. If you froze, like, would they have to flush, like, run something through your veins to flush your system out completely so that you were not, like your I don't know, pancreas or whatever, it has blood flowing through and it's like all this like frozen blood like stuck in. Do we have to like run something through it or like to put something through it so like an antifreeze, like a biogenetic antifreeze to like keep all this? I don't know. I would think so, but I don't know. Again, I've never looked that much into it. I just know that the whole process of cryogenics is bullshit.
Right.
So we're gonna freeze you. We're gonna put you on ice there, and it's gonna cost you $50,000. That sounds great. Got no issues with that, right? It sounds. I mean, for you, you're running a cryogenics firm.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'd do it.
All right.
I'll freeze anybody.
All right. So.
Hey, you want to come sit in my freezer? I'll do it. $50,000. Fuck, I'll undercut all the competition. I got no overhead.
All right, Mr. Acomi, is it not true that when the police showed up there, they found 5 bodies in your freezer? Well, they did, but those weren't dead bodies. They were cryogenically frozen. As soon as there's a cure for death, I plan on bringing them back. Oh, that's my new legal defense.
I mean, I just did it for science. That's all.
As soon as you can find a cure for 6 bullet wounds to the chest, right, I'm bringing them back.
Then you'll all apologize to me.
I'm just storing them there. So that seems like I said, that seems great. If you're running a cryogenics like lab or company, that seems great. Except you have to keep these people on ice basically forever. Mm-hmm. You have to, because the whole contract is that when the cure is found, you're going to unthaw me. Well, if a cure isn't found for 100 years, again, a cure for death never going to be found. But if a cure is never going to be found, then that means I'm going to be on ice forever. $50,000 per person is really not a lot when you still have to pay upkeep and storage. And you know, at some point in the world, I think that the what do you call that stuff? Like nitroglycerin is gonna, or shit, what do you freeze the, it's nitroglycerin, isn't it? It's used to freeze things with.
That's what's blow shit up.
Shit. What help me out here. Anyway, but anyway, that stuff is going to cost. I can't keep you on ice for 100 years, paying electricity and everything else, and whatever it costs to keep you frozen. Dry ice. I don't know, whatever it is. $50,000 is not a lot to do to keep you frozen for 100 years. That's not enough.
Right.
So even though it's a great con, you are losing money in the end, because if you don't make sure they're properly stored, the families can sue you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it's like that's where trouble comes into your con paradise. Now the other part of that is the what do you call that? Kind of like medical wordplay, you know?
Yeah, being a doctor.
No, not that. It's so take, for example, if someone has, and I'm just going to use this because I see this a lot, not a lot, but you kind of hear about it a lot. When someone has let's say AIDS, okay?
Shadowhawk, yeah.
Now he only had HIV. He didn't have full-blown AIDS. So when someone has AIDS, how many people die from AIDS each year? Just asking hypothetically.
Hypothetically, what, 10,000? Yeah, it's probably way too small.
Yeah,
I don't have a clue.
So let's say the number is 10,000. Actually, it's probably more like 4,000 to 6,000. And the reason I say that is because what I'm going to term as medical wordplay.
I get you. Being a doctor.
Yeah. Well, but not really. It doesn't even have to do with me doing anything. It's what the doctor in the hospital says, which is that this person died, right, from heart disease, complicated by AIDS. Mm-hmm. Because it weakens the immune system, but in most cases, that's not what kills you. It just weakens you for something else to kill you.
Right.
So this person died of pneumonia, complicated by this.
Right.
So then when it's time to cure you, it's like, oh, well, there's a cure for AIDS now. Yeah, but there's not a cure for heart disease.
Right.
Well, that's not what he died of. Unfortunately, it is.
Yeah.
This is what he died of. And that's when the medical wordplay comes in there. So then you don't have to worry about trying to revive these people, which of course you can't. But you don't have to worry about even trying, because a lot of your customers would have died from something else that was, again, complicated by this. But this is not the thing that actually, according to the doctors in the hospital, did them in.
Right.
So I came up with a new, beautiful con that it's going to work so much better. It's going to give you so much more money. And it's so inviting that it would actually give you more clientele. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay. So here it is. It's the Turk 182. And it's actually 182 degrees like Celsius. Negative 182. So Turk, negative 182 degrees Celsius.
How about 182 Kelvin? Because that's like still super cold.
Okay, whatever. Kelvin is fine. But Kelvin, it's too cold under this refrigerator.
Isn't gonna get me out of the fridge. Stop it! You're my stepbrother.
So the thing is,
I don't know if 182 degrees Kelvin is cold.
I don't know. I don't know shit.
I'm a fucking moron. Hold on.
I'm not a chemistry teacher, idiot.
Look like a goddamn scientist to you.
So this is what I do. Okay, there is a cost to your maintenance and a cost to freezing you. But the other thing that we do is so it's going to cost us $75,000 for the basic freezing package. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, 182 degrees Kelvin is negative 132.07 degrees Fahrenheit.
Nice.
So yeah, there you go.
Okay, good.
You're welcome.
Maybe that's what I'll change the name of this other cryogenics company to be. But Kelvin.
But Kelvin. Kelvin, help! I'm stuck under the coffee table.
So it's actually going to be $100,000 to freeze you, right? Because really, only rich people do something as stupid as that, right? Because they're the ones that have money just to waste like that.
Yeah.
75 of it is so like 25 is just the whole processing and all that kind of stuff, and like the charges and like monthly things like that, and then the rest of it is the upkeep of like making sure that we can keep you frozen and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, yeah, that's going to vary depending on the times. You know, it's like, well, yeah, but this year stuff's going on, and you know the costs have gone up. Okay, so but then you have to invest at least $50,000. At least $50,000.
Right.
So on top of what it costs to store you, then you also give us $50,000. What we do is we invest that money for a small fee, a management fee for managing your investment and making sure everything's good. Plus, we use some of that to, you know, we're going to take X amount off the top and of the interest, right? So we're going to take some of the interest because we're basically working as your agent here, right?
Right.
And your investment broker. When the cure has been found, and you're revived, then when you're revived, you actually have a large, like a huge stack of money to start your life over. Because don't forget, when you died, everything you had went to your relatives. So when you're revived, you have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you're going to have money. So when you come back, it'd be like if you were like, and like, I'm just going to use it again as an example. If you were in a coma and, you know, for 10 years and you wake up and you had a bank account that had like $500 in it, well, after 10 years, that's grown probably quite a bit because you haven't done anything with it.
Yeah.
So now after 10, 20, 30 years, however long it takes to find a cure, that $50,000 that you've given me, or at least $50,000, has grown and grown and grown. Once you are thawed and revived, we're going to take like 15% of your total investment. The rest of it is yours to go ahead and start your new life over. You come out of cryogenics, bam, top of the heap. You're rich, bitch.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
I like it.
And now we get more people to invest. But of course, you're never going to be revived because there's never a cure for death. So that money that you invest that I get to take like X amount of interest from is going to bankroll me for the rest of my company's life because I'm never going to have to cash that in. It's going to sit out there. It's going to continue to make money that I just get interest off of, and I'm never going to have to revive your popsicle ass.
Yeah.
It's so sweet. And then I'm using your own investment money also to help pay for your ice cubing.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's win-win.
It is.
Win-win-win.
And then I just use that for forever. It's the best in the world. I'm like, this is amazing. And because people are going to be thinking about that, and they're going to be thinking about that, and like, okay, well, wow. And like, when I come out of this, I'm going to come out as a rich man.
Yeah.
Or a rich woman. Like, dude, that is, they're going to be like, why is not everybody doing well? Because not everybody has like, you know, that kind of money to pay for this. But, and the thing is, even people that didn't have a lot of money will then like take what they have. Mm-hmm. And we'll try to save up to put that in there because I'm kind of broke right now. But if I can take what I have, if I can get to your minimum, if I can pay for the freezing and then have enough to put into the investment. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, like, and maybe what I'll do is I'll liquidate my assets like before I die, sell my house to get enough money here. I don't care about the relatives, whatever, you know. Hey, I made my way, you make your way.
Yeah, like what do they ever do for you?
And now, when I come out of, when I'm, you know, healed and I come back, now I can live the life I always wanted to live that I couldn't before.
Yeah.
And the part of it is, it's a no-lose situation. Eventually, a cure will be found for your disease. And when that happens, we will unthaw you. we will heal you. And all that money that's set aside, it's just been banking. Hell, it works in your favor if the longer it takes them to actually find a cure.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's just going to grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
And then you're going to come out and you'll be like, I got a brand new body. Or at least I'm not dying from whatever it was I was before. So I'm good. And now I got the money to live this life that I always wanted to live. Who wouldn't go for that?
Yeah.
And it's all bullshit.
It's
so awesome. It's so awesome.
Every bit of it.
I'm never going to unfreeze you. Never.
Now everybody's onto your scheme. So,
in fact, when I do freeze you, right, I'm gonna put your hand like a circle or like a C formation so that I can actually put my drink in your hand and shut the door like a refrigerator. So I'm going to open it up and I'm going to take that out of your hand. Thanks, Joe. And shut the door because I'm never going to unfreeze you. Oh, isn't that the best, man?
I like it.
Because cryogenics is bullshit.
I'm sure that'll hold up in court too.
What part?
In like 200 years when they're like, you never unfroze these people, Mr. 182, and you know, you're like fully cyborg at this point because you've already said you're going to do that and you can afford it. And you're just going to be like, yeah, because fuck cryogenics, that's why. It's bullshit. It's like, it's not bullshit. We actually have a cure for death. You're contractually obligated to unthaw these people. No, fuck cryogenics!
And that's when, like...
Fuck cryogenics and fuck you!
My cybernetic body, like, you know, transforms and the guns pop out. And be like, I'm out of order! You're out of order! This whole fucking court is out of order! and
Your Honor, I'd like to hold myself in contempt of court.
And then what happens, right? They will, you know, I'll get into a shootout. They might find a way to like, destroy my robot body, and I'll die. And then, when that happens, like a message will come out of my robot body. It'll send a message out, and it'll be like, my final wish is to be cryogenically frozen until there's a cure for death. And then they'll be like, well, okay, no, cryogenically freeze me for one day because you said they have a cure for death.
Yeah.
Then they'll unfreeze me, and they'll be like, yeah, and I'll never see a day in jail because, I've already died. You can't jail me. That you should die yesterday. I'm somebody else.
Yeah, but what if...
I'm alive, bitch!
What if they're one of those, what if it's one of those cases where they give you, 7 consecutive life sentences?
But you can only live one of them. Because it's not like they would, for the people that have 7 consecutive life sentences, not like, because they would say but you would be paroled in, or could be eligible for parole in 30. Yeah, they basically, I mean, those are kind of bullshit anyway, but the reason behind those is that to basically make it so that you can never live out your full term. Mm-hmm. But it's not like they would say, you're alive again now. You got to go and do your, something like, I'm not a cat, man. I mean, but I would say, okay, yeah, but you know what? You still haven't found a cure for pneumonia. Yeah, this guy died, but you don't have a cure for pneumonia. And they were like, shit, we can cure death, but you're right. We can't cure pneumonia or the common cold. You bastard. And the other part of that is
if somebody brings me Pizza Hut and they bring me a bunch of pizza with plant-based meat on it, I'm going to throw hands.
I'm going to take that shit and plant it in my front yard and grow me a meat tree. What? That's how it works, right?
It's probably the most dumbass thing I've ever heard you say in my entire time of knowing you.
But it's plant-based. Like if somebody has a really cool plant, like, that's a really cool plant. Can I get a piece of that so I can start growing my own? Right? You get a peach pit, right? You put in some water, let it start to sprout, and you put it in the backyard. So,
I mean, all I know is I could eat a peach for hours.
I'm glad you got a kick out of there. That's the stupidest thing you heard.
It's just the earnestness in your voice. I'm gonna plant it. Make me a meat tree.
You gotta sell the steak, baby. So I mean, that's my plan, man.
I like it.
So for all you people out there that are, want to see what things are going to be like in the far, far future, cryogenics. Cryogenics is the way. And remember, if you are looking to be cryogenically frozen, call Kelvin.
Call Kelvin.
And the number is 555-0182.
Hey.
And we'll freeze you, man.
Kelvin, help! I'm stuck in the freezer. I can't get the door open, and Dad went fishing.
Oh.
Kelvin, what are you doing, step temperature? Stop it.
Oh. So, yep. And you feel like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm doing everything legal and by the book.
You just keep telling yourself that.
Tell me what I'm doing wrong, man.
I'm not here to lecture you. I'm not your dad.
No, you're supposed to be here to, help me to, obviously I'm going to share my money with you.
Well, okay, since you put it that way.
Well, remember how you were like, well, if I could John Malkovich somebody, then I would go into this guy right here. And I was like, okay, dude, just don't tell me what you did, Don't tell me how you got the money. So I'm just saying, I would share my money with. It's completely legal, man. I'm not doing anything wrong. I made these people promises, and I will keep those promises. It's not my fault that they didn't read the fine print.
Well, it's a good plan. You're the idea guy.
Thank you. I'm Steve Jobs.
Well, it has been a bit of a shorter one, but the day grows late.
Yeah,
time goes short until they come up with a cure for time.
Yes. So. Oh, speaking of which, so it's I've got to do my my monthly injections,
Right.
So it's actually today is the day I was actually supposed to do my. I think it's today. Is today the day? Today's the day. Yeah. So I've got to do my injection for today. Oh shit, I forgot all about that. I don't think I've ever mentioned this on the podcast, but for the thing that I have, I got it just once a month. I got to use this little auto injector thing, and it's not that big of a deal. But I'm not a needle person, and I just don't like it. The auto injector makes it really a lot easier to cope and to manage with doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to once I depress the plunger, I've got to hold it in place while it dispenses the medication.
Right.
Normally it's about 10 to 15 seconds, and then the needle will automatically retract, sorry. So no big deal. But I'm going to tell you, man, that is the longest 10 to 15 seconds I think I have ever experienced in my life.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just because I don't really like needles. It's also because when you first do it and you got the initial poke, like, okay, and then the medicine goes in. This one that kind of stings a little bit there, so yeah.
Mm-hmm.
1001, 1002, 1020, 1000. When is this damn thing gonna retract? It's the longest freaking time, and I'm like, shit. And I swear, I would be looking at the clock, and I'd be like, oh, okay. I was like the hand will move forward, and I'm like, oh shit, it's been like a minute, right? but the plunger hasn't popped back out, the needle hasn't retracted. I'm like, shit. I'm like, what's taking so long? And I'll look back at the clock, and the clock's like, just kidding, fool you, and it'll shoot backwards. I'm like, what? I'm like, you asshole. And then finally it'll pop. I'm like, this is the longest in the 15 seconds of my life. And I'm like, and I just I don't know, maybe it's the medicine that's making me hallucinate or whatever, but I swear, I think my clock is just fucking with me, right? It's like, it knows, and it just is and here's the worst part. I think that the clock, my room clock is actually, making fun of me with my alarm clock, and I know this sounds stupid, but I'm like, it's
like, oh no, help, I'm cryogenically frozen in time, whoa.
Because I do the thing, and I'm like, okay, and okay, that's 15 seconds. I guess 20 seconds, and this thing slides retracted, and then I look again, and then the hand's back a minute. I'm like, wait a minute, no, we were at 243, and now we're at 240. It doesn't make any damn sense. And then I pop back up, and And I just imagine when I leave the room, the clock is like, he's like, he fell for it again. It's like the same thing. Once a month, the same thing. I fall for it. And the alarm clock was like, I know. Like the other day, I did that thing with him where like he wakes up and I say it's 3 o'clock and he falls asleep again. And he wakes up and it's 3 o'clock still. And it's like, what? And then he falls back asleep and wakes up and it's 3 o'clock still. And then he falls asleep and wakes up and it's 7 o'clock. He's like, shit, I'm late. And he's like, he falls for it every time. He's like, he's so fucking stupid. I know. And the alarm clock is like, I was like, oh my God. But you know, this guy is so much better than the last guy I worked with. He was like some kind of like scientist guy, whatever. And you know what that motherfucker did? He bought another clock to make sure that I stayed on time. And he would come in, he would adjust me every day. And I got this fucking snitch here next to me and everything, like, he's off by 30 seconds. And he's sitting there always adjusting my ass and stuff like that, talking about, you gotta be on Greenwich Mean Time. I'm like, motherfucker, you can see some New York Mean Time. Fucking hate clocks. Except the song by Coldplay.
I'll add that to your list. Chess players, doctors, cryogenics, and clocks.
Yeah. Clocks are the devil's work. Sundials. Sundials are the way to go. You never see the sun moving backwards just to trick your ass.
It did in the Old Testament, actually, Turk.
That was Jesus.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
Isn't Jesus from the New Testament?
He is. He's also God, so, you know.
He's part God.
Part God, sure.
Yeah, right. He's not full God. He's like part God. He's like the Silver Surfer to like Galactus, right? He's like, I gave you a portion of like omnipotent power, right?
This is really not the podcast for theological debate.
So in the words of Blink-182, what's my name again? Oh, yes, it's Turk-182. Oh, shit, I didn't want to make that connection at all. Hey, my name is Turk-182, and you can always find me here on Our Moms Think We're Funny, right next to Acomi, and you can also find me on Intergutters Podcast with Wallcrawler 1. We talk about comics and all things comic-related and all kinds of good, fun stuff. And who are you again?
I'm Acomi. You can find me cryogenically frozen.
Yeah, you can.
They'll let me out as soon as they find a cure for stupid. Bye, everybody.
Saying, yo. It's me. I'm doing that guy. You know, Han Solo from Star Trek.
Did you hear what after the right there, folks. That was Our Moms Think We're Funny. Let's give them a hand.